Hi everyone, this is Brian Baker, and today I'd like to share with you a high-level analysis of the Google Merchandise Store. The data can be retrieved from the URL presented, analytics.google.com/analytics/web/demo account. This data is available for everyone who wishes to dig into the data and learn Google Analytics. I thought this was appropriate, especially for myself, given that our organization has recently rolled out Google Analytics, and I thought it might be beneficial to investigate the data by exporting it out into Tableau. So before I begin showing the analysis, I'd like to give you a little bit of background about the Google Merchandise Store. The Merchandise Store is a fully functional e-commerce site with real data, and it is a real store. It primarily sells Google branded merchandise and is a typical e-commerce site with the type of data and information that you would typically capture from an e-commerce site. There are three primary components as outlined here that comprise the data source from the merchandise store, and that is the traffic source data, the content data, and the transaction data. Traffic source data is essentially the organic traffic and the paid search traffic and display traffic. The organic traffic is the type of traffic that you get when someone types in a search keyword and clicks on a link from the search results. A paid search traffic is similar, except that someone actually paid, in this case Google, paid for an advertisement to be placed after you click on on search. They then click on that link to reach the Google Merchandise Store. And finally, the display traffic is from a display ad that is also purchased, in this case by Google, to place strategically on the google.com site or an affiliate website. Content data is the data that is captured from the activity of users reaching the site and interacting with web content. So that may be things such as links or page views, video plays, those type of things. And finally, there's transactional data, which is at the heart of the e-commerce aspect of the site, and that obviously captures the transactions and the flows that go through the site to finalize the transaction. Okay, so let's begin the analysis. On this first slide, I just wanted to highlight a high-level overview of the number of users versus the number of days across a 3-month period time frame, beginning in April and ending in June of 2017. As you can see, the traffic goes up and down, as is typical for web traffic, but it has a very high peak here, specifically on April 26th, with 4,000, a little over 4,000 users. What can attribute that? I don't know at this moment. I'd have to further investigate it. One could speculate that it has to do with a campaign promoting a particular product or a set of products on the store. Maybe it was an internal discount that was provided to the employees of Google. I don't know. There could be a combination. Who knows? We need to look into that. But beyond that spike, it looks like the activity is fairly consistent across the 3 months. There's an average that's established here in April that falls somewhat in May, only to rebound slightly in June. The maximum value here attributed to this peak is 4,000, but generally it's going to be around 3,000 users per day. with a minimum of about a little over 1,000, 1,200 users per day. Okay, so next I wanted to characterize the audience of the web store and to get a better understanding of what type of people by category are making transactions. So you can see here in the upper left by age, we have the demographic basically showing us that it's primarily 18 to 34-year-olds that are interested in this site, and then it falls down fairly quickly as the age group increases. The United States is by far the most likely user base for this website, as there's 70,000 users, followed by India at 11,000, and then United Kingdom and Canada and Germany at about 4,000, 5,000. There is a gender gap here between male and female. Looks like males dominate more than 2 to 1 that are interested in purchasing products from this site. And finally, the user type between new visitors and returning visitors show that this site has a lot of churn, has a lot of new visitors, 84% over the 3-month period, and only 15% returning visitors. Next, I wanted to show the most popular operating systems and browsers that are used to access this website. And these users seem to be predominantly using Windows and Macintosh, followed by Android and iOS, and some of the operating systems associated with mobile devices. Browsers, Chrome is by far the most popular browser being used, and Safari being second, but a far second. It also shows here that bounce rate and pages per session for both operating system and browsers. And as you can see, there's not a huge difference between them, although you can see in Chrome that there are a number of pages per session that is much higher. And maybe that's contributing because of the number of users that use Chrome are typically going to be using desktop systems and spend more time per page. There also is, you can see the data here that the Chrome OS has a high number, so that may be tied in with the Chrome users, as the Chrome OS uses Chrome by default. And I want to quickly go through the search terms, both externally and internally to the site, that led people to conduct business with the Google Merchandise Store. So you can see here, based on the prominence of the size of the lettering and the color, that most people were typing in Google Merchandise Store, which is what you would expect into Google, Google Merchandise. And in this case, there's one that is specifically around men's t-shirts, which lends itself to the fact that more males go to the site and purchase products, and perhaps there was a sale during this 3-month period of time. However, the most interesting thing that I discovered while doing analysis on the Google Analytics store is that internally people were searching for the word gopher, and I didn't know what that meant. So I was interested and did a little research outside of the Google Analytics data, and did a search and found that the word gopher, this is the actual website for the e-commerce site. I type in gopher and you can see that search results, no items could be found. So apparently a lot of people are typing in gopher and getting this message. And so why are they looking for it? And I went to a website and found out that apparently it's a mascot for Google Go, which I don't know much about it, but it looks like, based on this information, that they're showing that you can purchase this on the Google Store, which is obviously not the case. So at one point you could purchase this little creature, but apparently no longer. It does say here that it was sold out, but it reappeared. but it looks like it's out again. So it's a very popular product. And, I would recommend if I was on the team to indicate that, we either no longer sell the product or we will be getting new shipments in and to, come back and check it out at a later time. Here's a map of the United States that is showing the revenue by location from the store. Generating the most, as expected, is the New York area with a revenue of about $100,000 total and a conversion rate of 8.48%. So the size of the circle is indicating the population and the revenue, whereas the color is indicating the conversion rate. In this case, it's 8.48%. We also have San Francisco as at 82,000 and 7.42%, and Chicago at 9.2, and a number of others with smaller revenue bases and conversion rates. You can also zoom out and you can see that there are other countries that also purchase products from this store, some in Europe, some in Latin America, and in South America. So you can see that they have some contribution, but it's primarily in the United States. On this slide, I'm investigating the e-commerce and how it is contributed by the different device types. And so you can see here that we have it outlined by desktop, mobile, and tablet. And desktop is by far generating the most revenue. There are mobile users that are purchasing at a much smaller rate, at about 10,000 versus the desktop at about 1.1 million. So there's certainly some opportunities to target mobile and tablet users. One might try to optimize the site for those devices if they have not done so already. Maybe spend more money in campaigns that target those users that maybe a particular product that lend itself best to that type of device. There's also, as you can tell here, there's some more metrics, a lot of metrics around everything from bounce rate to new users to sessions to revenue across the 3 different devices. And you can see here that the tablet is at 51.6.7%, so its bounce rate is on line with mobile. However, it seems to have a better conversion rate. So maybe there's some opportunity to find out what the difference is between tablet and mobile and see if those numbers can't increase and create better products for those users. And finally, here's a slide that shows revenue by source and medium. The source is the website, or maybe it's direct, which means you type in the URL yourself, or maybe it's DFA, which is an acronym that Google uses for DoubleClick, which is a ad service. Medium is from which that source came from. So maybe it's an email campaign, an ad campaign, or maybe some type of referral, which means there's a direct link from an affiliate site to the Google store. So as you can see here, by far, the largest revenue is generated from the DoubleClick ads, which you might expect because they have targeted campaigns. However, it didn't really generate a lot of users, so maybe they need to expand their DoubleClick campaigns. And then here you see that there is a very large number of users, but it's coming from direct traffic, and they don't seem to be buying as many products. There does seem to be a higher in Googleplex and chat.google.com and voice.google.com. So whatever they're doing there, they're doing the right thing. So they should apply it maybe to some of these other sources. In conclusion, the Google Analytics demo account is a fully functional account that has allowed me and others to learn how to analyze a real online e-commerce business. By exporting the data from Tableau and experimenting with this feature, I have reached the conclusion that Tableau provides a strong platform to conduct website data analysis and create insightful presentations. Thank you.